Anybody else tired this morning? I won't ask for a show of hands. I may be asking for too much. Last week when we could say we're tired, we had the time change. We can't do it this week. We can only do that one time a year. I guess twice a year. That everyone throws us off too. When you think about it, since the last time we were here, we've had full days, maybe late nights. You've had a long week, and when you stop now, you get to sit down for a minute. But then Monday's coming. Monday's knocking on our door as we sit here. We're tired as employees and giving what we can, even though others around us may insist on extra long breaks or maybe a half-hearted work ethic. Tired as employers, trying to make good decisions, but then hearing from those around us saying you haven't made one yet. Tired as parents, balancing schedules and opportunities that you know impact for a lifetime. Tired as Christians. It seems that so often bad keeps winning over good. Whatever we hear, whatever we listen to, it seems like that's so often the case. It's safe to say we're tired. When I got tired as a boy, I wanted my stuffed dog, Henry, in my security blanket. I didn't know it was a security blanket. It was just my blanket. I tracked him down. I knew, as I thought about this week, I thought, I know where they're at. So I always have to laugh when I see a picture of Henry. I've never known him to have ears. He's never had ears. Never. At some point he did, but I can see where he's had surgery. My mom was a good stuffed animal surgeon. He always had, whenever I would suck my thumb, I always had to have a tag. Anybody else had to have that? So I think he had a tag on him originally, but as I was looking even last night, he's had 2 on this feet, 1 still on this one, and it looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 more. So like whenever his shirt was done, Mom would sew the tag on. His belly button even has threads over the top of it to hold that little knob in place. Has anybody seen the Henry doll before? Not mine. If you have seen mine, I want to know how. But anybody remember the Henry doll? Yeah, like the early 70s. I think he was the mascot for the Animal Fair line. I've got 3 things. My dad gave me, I wasn't very old, he gave me this little metal soldier from when he was a boy. And for some reason, I always had Henry, the tin soldier we always called him. Who knows what it's made of? It probably explains medical problems today. You know, as I rub it, it explains things. And then my blanket. And I don't remember it ever looking any different than this. As far as thumb sucking, it was always Henry with the blanket close by, and I still remember, I don't know how old I was. I was telling Mom and Dad I was going to talk about this, and I said, I remember when Dad told me one night, he said, Mark, I think you're old enough now you can be done sucking your thumb. I said, I don't remember how old I was. Dad laughed. He said, high school. I said, it probably was. Even as I had these out, I had them sitting on the counter last night to bring this morning, and, it's just funny. You see these things, and it just takes you back in your head. It's like, I'd suck my thumb now if I want to. I won't. That'd be really weird for all of us. But what was your security blanket? Whether it was a blanket or a combo? I got the combo package. It was cheaper this way, Amazon. What did you have? Anybody want to share? Whether it be a stuffed animal you had or special blanket? Maggie? Okay. Yeah. Beautiful for some thumb sucking right there. I'm telling you, you can just work your way around. Yeah. So Taggy was the blanket's name then, right? Okay. Yeah, and and these could have almost qualified, thankfully. Thankfully, I saved them from Mom's cleaning habits. Who else? What else did you have? Dominic?
My nephew, when he was a young boy, had a sheepskin, and that was renowned as his skin. Where's my skin?
Yeah, the sheepskin, yeah. Now, was it a real sheepskin, or was it I'm not... Okay, they're just kind of like a fleece. Either way, yeah. Okay, what else? Somebody else had there. David? The monkey and the teddy bear. And the names were... They're just yeah. Sometimes they didn't need names. You didn't need to refer. They were, yeah. Now the teddy bear's still out, is it not? Okay. All right. Okay. What else?
I had a teddy bear named Teddy.
Okay.
And my mom's best friend got me.
How big? How big was Teddy? Okay. Did he sleep with you? Yeah. That's good having him around. Who else? Oh, yeah. Some remember that. We're dating ourselves as we say that. Yeah. Family affair? Yeah. All right. And how big? Okay. Yeah, and the hair? All right. It's Beasley. Yeah. What was his name? Mr. Teddy. Very good proper name. I like it. Good, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to speak of their... Some are like, there's no way I'm saying what I... That's all right. I get it. Anybody else? Karen?
I have a doll named Sally.
All right, Sally. And just go with you at night, everywhere else? Yeah. How big? How big was...
Baby doll.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I've got, and you can think of pictures where you had it. I've been to Arizona, different swap meets as a boy. My grandpa had a little two-wheeler, and they'd made a little cardboard thing for me to set in, and there I am with Henry and my thumb cruising around this swap meet. I'm going to hand him back. I kind of want to keep him with me, but I won't. Yeah, I want you to think about that and what you had. These are these things that so often at night, so often as the sun starts setting down, it's God's children, though. Is it possible that He's given us something that's like these things that we named? And I even hate to call them things. They took on a life of their own. As we talk about them, even as I see you talk about them, they just have this personality of their own, and especially at night, they made a lot of difference between a good night and a bad night. Is it possible that God's given us something to go to sleep with tonight? Is there something from our Father that can give us rest? I want you to know that He has, and there is. You'll find it in Psalm 121. Psalm 121. If you want to go there, we're going to read this. We're going to reference back to it multiple times. There's some Bibles in front of you, maybe behind you. If you don't have one in front of you, turn around and see if the people behind you can get you one, or if you have your phone or your tablet or your paper copy. Psalm 121. This is a song that the nation of Israel would have sung. I have to be reminded of that when we come to the Psalms. It's known as a song of ascent. We're not sure, was it sung as they came back to Jerusalem? Maybe sung when they went up to the temple, both the city and the temple are at a higher elevation than the countryside around. So as they sang the song of ascent, maybe coming back to these places. So whether it be for feasts, coming back to the city for a feast, or by priests, as they maybe go up to the temple, they sing. They sing, just like we're singing this morning. You know, when you've come back home, is there a time where you've sung, you're just glad to be back home? It's been that kind of week, that kind of trip. Maybe not bad. Maybe it's been really good, but you're also glad to be back home. And there's a tune you sung, maybe it's just a spontaneous song that you belted out as you pulled back into the driveway, into the parking lot. Have you ever whistled a melody when you finished a task? It was a hard job. You finally got it done. You can't whistle, but you let it out. You're like, yes, we got it. It finished it up. Maybe it's on your way to the church building on Sunday morning. It's those songs that you've listened to. I think it was when we traveled. I told you last week about shifting our course and going to school, and we were preaching about an hour away on Sundays. Just we'd go do the Sunday morning sermon. We make this trip and we listen to the Zoe group, all these different songs. Is how we've learned so many songs we know now. And that trip on Sunday mornings and on the way back on Sunday afternoon, just mindful of God. This is a song that David and the other kings would have known. They knew this song. It's in their songbook. It's in their catalog, if you will. It's a song that the priests would have joined in singing. A tune that the people themselves would have sung. These people that followed God. Maybe joining in this tune as the sun started to set. We don't know. But in the words of this song, you can find rest. You can find some security. I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon at night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. The song tells a tired people there's rest. In the lyrics we hear rest. How can there be rest? Well, you can know that the one you worship made everything. The one you worship made everything. Verse 1, I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. When you make something, you have power over it. Think about supper. Supper does not rise up and eat you. Oh, no. You eat it. You made it. Whether you cooked it from scratch or whether you put it in Chef Mike, it's the microwave. It doesn't turn around and eat you. You eat it. There's that project at work that feels like it's consuming you. But really, you master it. Your craft project. It doesn't tell you where to put it. Hang me over here, hang me over there. No, you put it where you want because you made it. In the same way, God has power over His creation. Why? Because He made it. He made everything we can see, things we can't see. John writes about Jesus, God in the flesh. He uses the echoes of some of the early chapters in Genesis. And remember, those early chapters in Genesis are about the creation. John writes, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through Him all things were made. Without Him nothing was made that has been made. In Him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Remember, in the beginning, there was light. God as creator is in charge of all we can see and all we can't see. Darkness has not overcome God, nor has it overcome His power. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. No, there are things today and things tonight that you can control, and there are some things we can't control. We let go where we have to, where we can. Your help comes from the Maker of heaven and earth. Think about this. You'll never get too old to find comfort and rest and security. We can rest well tonight. You can also know that God won't sleep even if you do. God won't sleep even if you do. Verse 3, He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Department of Justice a few years ago had this report. It stated, violent crimes at night were more likely than crimes occurring during the day to involve a weapon or a firearm. 3 of every 5 crimes committed by an offender with a firearm occurred at night. Isolated report, maybe, but another one affirmed on non-school days, the incidence of juvenile violence increases through the afternoon and early evening hours, peaking between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Why do so many crimes happen at night? I mean, why is it that when the sun goes down, these numbers go up? What is it about darkness that is so appealing to evil? Well, less people will know. Not as many people watch. There's not as many eyes. Hopefully, many people will be sleeping, and these things can carry on. You know what? God doesn't sleep. God doesn't close His eyes even just for a moment. In fact, as John wrote in John 1, hear what it is he writes in 1 John chapter 1. He said, "This is the message we have heard from Him and declare to you. God is light. In Him there is no darkness at all." Think about that for a moment. God is light. No darkness. None. We talk about the recesses of our heart or the darkness of our minds. God has neither. There's not a dark patch, a dark spot, a blink for a moment from God. He's all light. Look who could sleep because he knew his Father didn't sleep. Listen, that day when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." And the wind died down, and it was completely calm. The one you worship made everything, and God won't sleep even if you do. The Son knew the Father was not asleep, so he did. The Son knew the Father was still on duties. Hard work and long days, they don't wear God out. As much as we may be worn out, he's not tired. Unlike you and me, he doesn't get tired as the day goes on. And since he doesn't tire, he doesn't sleep. He doesn't need to. But you do, and I do. So tonight, when you shut down, know that God's left the light on for you. His light. His light. The one we worship made everything. God won't sleep even if you do. And you can be certain God is watching over you. Verse 5. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. I don't know how it is in your household, but I think it's probably the same. Sickness seems to get worse at night. Once the sun drops down, the cough ramps up, the temperature climbs. And as a kid, I remember that. And there's nights when I was sick, I liked when mom or dad could be present. They didn't both need to be in there, but I liked when one of them was in there. Kept a cool rag on my forehead, keep the volume on the TV or the radio, keep it just right, get it adjusted just right. Jennifer and I have done the same for our girls. Do I make our kids better when I do that? No. But I'm giving them what helps in the moment. And mom and dad gave me what helped in the moment. And that was their presence. Just being there. Sometimes just being there is enough. We can't make the fever come down. But we can be there for a moment. Verse 5 again. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. Envision the hot, arid environment that this song was written in. As they thought about the sun, think about it much differently than we do this time of year, begging for some more sun. Sun beats down on you during the day, and for some time you just need a little bit of shade. The shadow of a large bush, the shelter of a tent, maybe just the coolness of the dirt floor for a while. The story reminds the singer that the Lord is that shade. That feeling that comes when you're in the shade is a reminder of God's presence. The one who made everything has his eye on you. And that's a good thing. When it feels that the heat is on in your world, in your day, in your week, know that his eye is on you. He gets what you're going through. He sees when you're winning. He sees when you're struggling. And he knows when you're tired, when you're almost worn out, when you think the next step is almost impossible. He has his eye on you because he made you. As he made all these other things, and we talked about first, he also made you, and his eye is on you. The Father is watching the child. The one who doesn't sleep. The one who does not sleep always has his eye on you. All the time. His mom and dad didn't leave me, and so I won't leave my girls. Even more than that, God's not leaving us. He's here to stay. He's watchful. Jesus, the God-man, said this as he was ready to leave this place, this world. He said, "And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." God's going nowhere. As you drift off tonight, remember that His eyes are on you. That means He'll keep you safe. He'll keep you safe. Verse 7, "The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever." Let's hear it again. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. In our house, a lot of fears have been settled when it said, "Daddy will take care of that." It was that way growing up for me. Dad will take care of that. Might be a bug on the bedroom wall. Might be a leak under the bathroom sink. But in any of those, it's not up for my kids, nor was it up to me at their age to take care of something beyond my grasp. Dad didn't come in and say, "You told me it's leaking, fix it." No, it didn't work that way. That was beyond my, plumbing's still beyond my grasp. It's beyond the grasp of many. Nor is it up to you to take care of things beyond your grasp, in your life, in your world, in our world. There are things that are beyond us. Your Father will take care of it. In His time, in His way. There's times I can come running in when the spider's on the wall. There's times I can't. I can't get there right yet. Go get a Kleenex, I'll meet you in there. Go get a bucket, I'll meet you in the bathroom. You know, it's whatever it is. Your Father will take care of it. He assures us of the same thing tonight, today. The illness, the work situation, the plans for next year, the problem with him or her, God will keep you. It doesn't mean it won't hurt. I wish it did. I wish I could read it that way. But we have to remember this is a song. This is a song. We sing, there's a song, "I Am a Sheep." We sing that. We're not sheep, but we know what the song is saying. It's taking a little poetic license, if you will. But we still get the point. We are like sheep, and we get the point of the Lord keeps you from all harm. Well, no. It doesn't mean everything just goes exactly right, but in the big scheme, God's being watchful. The psalm doesn't mean nothing bad will ever happen to you. Ask those who sang it about that. Ask Israel, did anything bad ever happen? Yeah. Sometimes it was things of their own doing, sometimes it wasn't. But the song does mean that God will see you through it. Ask Israel about that one. Did God see you through it? They would say yes. From exile, big things like the exile, to small things like battle, God saw them through it. As you pull back the sheets tonight, be sure that you remember, no matter what is going on in your life, your Father can take care of it. This doesn't answer all of our why questions. I wish it did. But it does answer the who question. And that's even bigger. Who? Well, the one we worship made everything. And God won't sleep even if we do. Who? God. The one who's in charge of it all. Well, who's watching over me? God is. The one who created it all, is aware of it all, never sleeps. He's always watching. Who's going to keep me safe? God will. And God keeps us safe. It's amazing to me how much we can accomplish after a good night's sleep. Sometimes the things we worry about never materialize. Sometimes they're still there waiting for us the next morning. The situation is not good. Sometimes we're worn out and we're ready to take on things the next day. As people, we made it through last week and we'll make it through another one this week. As employees, no matter what coworkers may do, you'll keep doing what's right. As employers, as you seek to satisfy those who work for you, you'll be content knowing whom it is you work for. As parents, we'll keep praying for guidance, patience, as we try to do what's best for our kids. And see, the situations just keep going. As teens, as single people, as newly married, whatever the situation is. As Christians, we'll know that evil won't win in the end. If we can do something to help you sleep better tonight, we want to. It wouldn't be right for us to talk about this and then all go our separate ways. It may be something we can do very specifically to help you sleep better tonight. No, we don't prescribe anything. We can't do that. There may be something even more powerful than that we can do, and we just don't know about that. It's something we can do. This is a message we have to share. We hear things like this, and this is about us. It's something I want us to remember tonight as we shut down, but I also want us to tell those around us. Tell them about this God who made everything, and this God who won't sleep, this God who's watching over you, this God who will keep you safe. And you know people, and I know people that need to hear this and need to see it modeled before them. Will you tell someone about your God? Tell them who your security really is. Get this preacher that sleeps with this little dog named Henry. Tell him I still do. If it starts the conversation, start it that way. I'm good with it. Even if you're tired, even as we are tired, God's not. I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon at night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. Andrew, let's sing.
Amen. Amen.